For decades, people have disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Some vanished into thin air, while others left behind puzzling clues. What happened to them? It remains a mystery to this day. Today, I will tell you about 5 of the most baffling disappearances that shook the world. The disappearance of Amelia Earhart. Amelia Earhart was not just an outstanding pilot. She was a true symbol of courage and a fighter for women's rights in the early 20th century. Her dream of flying around the world seemed within reach, as she had already set several world records. But this very attempt became her final journey. In July 1937, Amelia, along with her navigator Fred Noonan, set off on a round-the-world flight. Everything was going according to plan. They had covered over 35,000 kilometers. However, as they approached the tiny Howland Island in the Pacific Ocean, radio contact with the plane suddenly broke off. Amelia's last message was alarming. She reported that they were running out of fuel and couldn't locate the island. What happened next? After her disappearance, an extensive search operation began. The U.S. sent ships and planes to scour the ocean, but no trace of the aircraft was ever found. Later, locals shared strange stories. Some claimed to have seen a woman resembling Amelia on a deserted island, allegedly captured by the Japanese. However, no solid evidence supported these claims. There are many theories about what really happened. Some believe the plane simply ran out of fuel and crashed into the ocean. Others suggest Amelia may have landed on Nicomaroro Island, but perished from hunger and thirst. And then there are the more unusual theories, like the idea that she became a U.S. spy and deliberately disappeared. The truth remains a mystery to this day. The final chapter. The story of Amelia Earhart continues to intrigue researchers. In 2018, human bones were discovered on Nicomaroro Island, which may belong to her. But even if that is true, there are still more questions than answers. Tash, the disappearance of the crew of the Mary Celeste. In 1872, the world was shaken by the mysterious disappearance of the crew of the British ship Mary Celeste. This case is probably one of the most famous in the history of maritime mysteries. The circumstances of the disappearance. The ship was found drifting without its crew in the Atlantic Ocean in November 1872. Everything aboard the ship remained untouched: food, water, even personal belongings, but the crew had vanished as if they had evaporated. The ship was in good condition, and there were no signs of violence. What was found on board? There were no signs of a struggle or any indication that anyone had attempted to abandon the ship. The course had been altered, and there were several empty spaces on board while the ship's wheel was locked. The clocks on board were stopped, which added more questions to the mystery. Tash theories. Many believe the crew could have perished due to a mutiny or staged their disappearance. Others suggest that something like panic occurred on board. Perhaps the ship's steam boiler caused severe overheating or an explosion, after which the crew, in fear, abandoned ship. Mysticism or reality? There are also mystical theories, such as the idea that the crew was kidnapped by pirates or even aliens, as the events were so strange and unexplained by normal circumstances. The final chapter. Although many scientists and historians believe that the Mary Celeste's disappearance can be explained by natural disasters or human error, some still believe that the truth remains hidden. The disappearance of Flight MH370. On March 8, 2014, the world was shocked by the news. Flight MH370, departing from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, disappeared from radar. There were 239 people on board, and no one could understand what had happened. What became of this plane that seemed to vanish into thin air? The circumstances of the disappearance. The plane took off on schedule, and the first few hours of the flight went without incident. However, after 1 hour and 20 minutes of flight, contact with the plane was lost. The crew didn't send any distress signals, and radar showed that the plane had changed course and continued its journey, despite all efforts to establish communication. What was found? Months later, wreckage from the plane was found in the Indian Ocean, which gave hope for solving this mystery. But that was not enough to definitively determine the cause of the disappearance. From time to time, new data, such as radar traces and incomplete reports, surface, but no final answers have been found. Schlatt theories. Several theories have been proposed. One of the most common is that a technical malfunction led to the crash. Another theory suggests the plane was intentionally hijacked. Perhaps the pilots or someone among the passengers could have been involved in changing the course and disappearing. There is also a theory about a terrorist attack. Relatives of the missing passengers argue that they do not believe the official version of the disappearance and accuse the airline of a lack of transparency. Some families claim that evidence was deliberately hidden to avoid panic. The final chapter. Although the search continues and new fragments are discovered every year that may be linked to the plane, the disappearance of Flight MH370 remains one of the greatest aviation mysteries. The disappearance of the Jamison family. In 2009, one of the strangest disappearances in recent decades occurred in the woods of Oklahoma. The Jamison family, consisting of parents and their daughter, vanished without a trace, leaving behind strange clues. The circumstances of the disappearance. The family had gone into the woods to inspect land they were planning to buy. When the police found their car, all their personal belongings, bags, and money were inside, and the dog that was supposed to accompany them was still alive. But the family was gone. Tracks were found in the forest, but they led to an empty spot with no further clues. What happened after the disappearance? Several years later, the remains of the family were found in the woods. However, how they died remains a mystery. Some believe it was related to the psychological state of the family members, while others argue it was a murder that was carefully concealed. Theories. There are theories that the family could have fallen victim to criminals or experienced something psychologically devastating that led to their deaths. Others speculate that it was something more mystical, as the family had spoken of strange feelings and sensations before their disappearance, claiming the forest felt different. Locals insist that strange events do occur in those areas. The final chapter. Today, the disappearance of the Jamison family remains one of the most discussed topics. There are no answers, and the clues that led to their deaths are still shrouded in mystery. The mystery of Colonel Fawcett's disappearance. Colonel Percy Fawcett was an outstanding British explorer who dedicated his life to searching for the mysterious city of Z, a lost city believed to be deep in the Amazon jungle. In 1925, he set off on his final expedition, but he never returned. Background. Percy Fawcett began his explorations in South America in the early 1900s. He was convinced that a mysterious city, remnants of an ancient civilization long forgotten by modern scholars, was hidden somewhere in the Amazon jungle. Fawcett was an experienced explorer and had crossed South America successfully several times, but his last expedition proved to be his final one. The circumstances of the disappearance. In 1925, armed with maps and records, Fawcett set off into the jungle with his son and a friend. Their goal was to find the city of Z, which was said to be located in the heart of the Amazon. They ventured into uncharted areas where little was known about the terrain or the people who lived there. That was the last known communication from the group. What happened next? When Fawcett failed to return on time, concern grew. A large-scale search operation was organized, but they were unable to find any trace of him. There were several theories to explain his disappearance, ranging from an attack by local tribes to drowning in a river or dying from diseases prevalent in the jungle. However, none of these theories were confirmed. The mystical version. There are also more mysterious theories. Some believe that Fawcett and his group discovered the city of Z and vanished with it. Others believe they may have been abducted by aliens or entered an alternate reality, as Fawcett's last notes mention strange mystical events. The search and clues. The search for Fawcett continued for many years. While traces of his disappearance were occasionally discovered, there was no clarity. It wasn't until 1951 that an old journal was found in which Fawcett described his last days in the jungle. But even this journal did not provide definitive answers about what had happened to him. The final chapter. What exactly happened to Colonel Fawcett remains unclear. The mystery of his disappearance has captured the attention of many researchers, and his search inspired other expeditions. Yet the enigma remains unsolved, and the city of Z continues to guard its secrets. Each of these disappearances is yet another mystery that may never be solved. What do you think happened to these people? Share your theories in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe to hear more incredible stories.